Chapter 2. I woke with a jolt and severe chest pains. I can't breathe. I tried to suck in air, but all I could do was wheeze. Swinging my arms frantically to free myself, I came in contact with a large ball of fur and saw two angry blue eyes glaring down at me. "Gus, get the hell off me!" I wheezed. He gave a low grunt as I rolled him off. He never suffocates me unless he has a problem. Then he starts throwing his weight around. I turned on my side to ignore Gus and fall back to sleep. He let out a grunt, waddled over, and plopped his butt on my head. "Ugh, get your cat butt off me." I swatted him off. "What, Gus? Is it the diet?" I rolled out of bed with a groan and shuffled to the kitchen to pour a ration for his breakfast. He glowered at me as he scrutinized his dismal portion, but then settled down to eat it. I wanted to slip back into my warm bed. I still had a few hours before I had to return to the tournament, but I should try to arrive a little early to play a few practice rounds. I knew Roy would be there too. I dressed in shorts and a tank top for the scorching Vegas heat and grabbed a hoodie for the air-conditioned casino. Comfortable clothes were going to be the fashion of the day and the remaining days of the tournament. If I get past today, my stomach flip-flopped. "I knew you'd be here," I said to Roy when I found him at a Texas Hold'em table.
"You need to sit down and practice."
"Okay, but don't give me advice. You make me crazy with your poker psychology."
You have to learn the psychology behind poker.
"I know, but I start doubting myself and then second-guessing what the other players are thinking."
You'll get it.
He said with a pat on my back as I settled next to him.
It takes some people a lifetime to learn it, and there are others who instinctively know.
When I'm in the moment, I know. Then I start thinking and it all falls apart.
"Are you Nadia?"
"Yes?" I glimpsed a blonde adult version of Shirley Temple hovering next to me. She set a drink down.
"Grayson Miller wanted me to deliver this and to tell you good luck today. He's in a meeting right now, so he can't come in person. Don't worry, it's a virgin. He wanted to make sure you stay sharp."
"Thanks," I said, eyeing the drink suspiciously. "How did he know I'm here?"
"He knows everything. It can be a nuisance sometimes."
"Thank you," I said and turned back to the table. After a few moments, I still felt her presence. My eyes flicked up to her.
"Oh, I'm sorry. Am I disturbing you?"
"A little," I said, trying not to offend her but also needing to concentrate. "Did you need something?"
"I was just wondering if poker is easy."
"Some days yes and some days no. What's your name?"
"I'm Maya."
"Are you interested in the game?"
"Yes, but my boyfriend told me I should stick to slots."
Roy let a half-cocked smile escape. He's heard me gripe about men who think poker is for men only. He's seen me twist myself into a snit when they throw chauvinistic comments at me. He just shakes his head and gives me the lecture about how seasoned poker players don't allow their emotions to explode to the surface. They keep things buried deep inside and beat the crap out of a punching bag when they go home. Last Christmas, he'd bought me a stand-up punching bag. He can't say I've never used it. Where else would I hang my clothes? "When do you have off?" I asked Maya.
"Tomorrow."
"Meet me here at the same time. I'll give you a lesson." Maya's blue eyes lit up.
"Really?"
"Sure." She thanked me and bounced away. Her blonde ringlets curled and bounced with her. All male eyes followed her direction.
Remember to mind your emotions.
Roy said when he returned his gaze back to the table. "Don't lecture me, Yoda. I didn't get mad, but I won't sit back and do nothing either." Roy slid a sideward glance at me.
What's with the drink from Grayson Miller?
I met him a few days ago in the lounge. He was meeting with someone."
How did you meet him if he was in a meeting?
I kept quiet and tinkered with the few chips in front of me.
Nadia, what did you do?
"Nothing?"
Don't give me that crap. You did something, and it was probably highly embarrassing.
"I might have spilled a drink, but it wasn't my fault."
How was it not your fault?
His mouth twitched, suppressing the smile I never failed to produce. "There was a guy talking trash. My drink might have slipped."
Grayson Miller was talking trash? I don't believe you. And that's a waste of alcohol.
I didn't say Grayson Miller was talking trash. My drink slipped the wrong way and missed the jerk. Grayson caught the full brunt of it. I didn't even know his name until employees zoomed in to help clean. Roy peeled with laughter.
I don't know how anyone could be as accident-prone as you are.
I'm not. It's only in rare and potentially extremely embarrassing situations that I'm accident-prone.
You spilled a drink on the casino CEO.
A flash of nausea surged through me. The CEO? Roy held his gut while he chuckled.
You didn't know?
I shook my head. I'm surprised they didn't kick me out.
He's the CEO of Rotunda Casino's empire. He could buy half of Vegas with his money. He's been on the covers of Forbes, Time, and Money. I heard he's the best in the business, and a ballbuster if you have to tangle with him.
I winced. I flicked off the ice cubes from his hair and suit. Roy clutched his side.
Oh, ow. It hurts to laugh.
But he didn't stop. I took my seat at the tournament table. There were 2 empty seats, and I prayed for them to be filled by strangers, putting Caleb at another table. My nerves were shot after learning who I'd spilled my drink on. I never failed to give Roy a jolly laugh at my expense. I had heard of Grayson Miller, but I never connected he was the head of Rotunda, which operated Lost City Casino plus a dozen more casinos spread throughout Nevada. From what Roy had told me, Grayson Miller was known as a hard businessman, and though he was only 35, his accomplishments were the talk of many in the business. The Lost City Casino by far was my favorite in Vegas. It had been designed to resemble an underwater lost ruin. I loved the feel of it as I walked in. Watching the colorful fish darting around in the glass walls and ceilings was a treasure in itself. Archaeological artifacts were sprinkled throughout the casino landscape. Toppled pillars cascaded to create a sweeping staircase. But I might never come back after learning who I'd spilled my drink on.
You're thinking about something unpleasant.
I looked up to find Caleb. He slid out the chair next to me and settled into it. His t-shirt clung snugly around his solid chest and arms. His well-worn jeans hugged every essential part. I groaned. How can I keep my head in the game and sit next to him? Not only was he my enemy at the table, he was also sexy as hell. His wavy brown hair always appeared as if it needed to be cut. It's in a constant state of looking gently wind-blown with sun-bleached caramel highlights. If he was plopped onto a beach, he could pass as a surfer. I heated as I surveyed his tan skin and firm arms. His thigh rubbed against mine as he made himself comfortable. Damn him. How can I concentrate on winning when he's so close to me? Why are we at the same table again? I asked. They normally mix it up. Caleb shrugged. Are you trying to mess with my head?
I don't have to. You do it to yourself.
Don't worry. As soon as the cards are on the table, I'll be back to normal.
I'm not worried. I'll knock you out of the game eventually.
Caleb sat back, studying me. His eyes darkened, but his face remained impassive.
Maybe not until the final table.
It would take a miracle for me to reach the final table. There were 1,200 people who entered the tournament, and a little over 800 remained.
Breathe. You look like you're going to hyperventilate.
I scowled as I scanned the room to find the tournament director. Maybe if I sweet-talked the director, he'd move me to a different table.
Don't bother,
Caleb said, reading my mind.
The tables are already full. You're stuck with me.
Go sit in the chair on the other side of the table.
Do I make you nervous?
No, but that doesn't mean I want to sit next to you.
I'm going to sit here. Otherwise, I'll have to stare at you for the rest of the game.
I bristled. Would you rather stare at the man with the top hat and pork chop sideburns? Caleb observed the man across the table and smiled.
Not really, but it's better than looking at your green eyes.
Do you have a problem with green eyes or just my green eyes?
Just yours.
I glared at him and hunkered down as the dealer took his seat. My heart lodged in my throat while the first hand was dealt. The dealer flicked me 2 cards. I held my breath as I peeked at them. A pair of kings. I remained calm and unaffected, but internally I was jumping on the table dancing a jig. Pocket kings were hopefully going to push me through my short stack dilemma. I shoved my stack in. All in. Everyone folded except for a man across from me. He had his hood drawn close around his face and a pair of hologram sunglasses with snake eyes. He called my bet, and we laid our cards face up on the table. He had an ace and 10 of clubs, which could lead to a straight flush, or just a pair of aces. I've been beat with these cards in the past, but I was still hopeful my kings would win. They had to win. I held my breath as the dealer laid the first 3 cards, known as the flop, on the table. The first 2 cards didn't help either of us, but the third card was the jack of clubs and helped the hooded man. The dealer turned the next card. My breath hitched. It was a queen of clubs. The hooded man was on his way to making a straight. I could hear pounding and realized it was my heart beating in my ears. If a club, king, or ace appeared, then I was finished. My tournament would be lost, and $10,000 of my money would be gone. I knew gambling was about winning some and losing some. Hopefully winning more than you lose. The $10,000 was my whole savings. Roy told me it was risky to gamble my savings, but I didn't want another year to roll by without taking a chance at the $1 million prize. As the dealer flipped over the last card, I held my breath. I peered down at the card. A 2 of hearts. Oh, thank God. I won the round and doubled my stack. The rest of the day turned out rather well. I regained my composure and a healthy chip stack. There were a couple times when I had to force my head back into the game. The first time was when a camera crew filmed a segment on Caleb. I ended up caught in a hand with him. He, of course, won the hand. Thankfully, he didn't win too many chips from me. The second time was when he tried to stretch his legs and accidentally bumped me. His hand reached out to touch my leg to apologize, but was slow to remove it. The heat from his touch on my skin zinged to my stomach. I shook it off, winning my first hand from him. Unfortunately, that hand wasn't televised. I gathered my belongings for the day. The second day of the tournament was over, and I still had chips.
You're not a bad player considering you're a girl.
My eye twitched and my fingers curled into my purse. Caleb laughed.
Nadia, you need to relax. I was just joking around. You should go out and have fun. You're too high-strung.
I'm high-strung because I have to sit at the table with a bunch of men who have egos the size of Jupiter. His eyes crinkled mischievously. He was about to say something when a woman strode over to our table and stood next to him. She was wearing a fitted black skirt suit with a white blouse that was skin-tight and unbuttoned to show off the top edge of her black, lacy bra. She gazed down at Caleb and brushed her long, dark hair to the side.
Caleb, we need to go over your schedule.
Caleb sighed.
I'm busy. Let's do it later.
Her eyes drifted from Caleb and focused on me.
She's not your type.
It's not about her. I just don't want to worry about schedules right now. You're my manager. You deal with it.
She ignored him and surveyed the room.
Where's Brianna?
Who's Brianna?
The redhead from yesterday. I told her to be here for the tournament and the photo shoot tonight.
I don't know, and I don't care.
I thought she was your girlfriend, I said more to myself than Caleb.
No, she's an actress or model my manager hired. Jessica seems to think I'll receive more publicity by keeping a different girl at my side every other day. I get them confused, and I never remember their names. Half of the time I can't remember if the girl is a model or a real date.
Jessica slanted her eyes at Caleb.
It's a man's game. Men like to keep informed about their favorite player. You're the favorite, so you need to cater to a man's fantasy. The average man who watches televised poker is a married man who doesn't have the dream bachelor lifestyle and a gorgeous woman at his side. He gets his kicks out of watching you and places himself in your shoes.
Geesh, I said. I didn't know Caleb was so crucial to the average male. Caleb chuckled.
Don't take Jessica seriously.
Jessica tapped her foot impatiently.
I'll call the modeling agency and see if I can find a backup girl.
I'll take Nadia.
Who's Nadia?
Jessica asked. Caleb pointed to me. Jessica performed a full-body scan with her cutting eyes.
No, she won't work.
She's fine.
Excuse me, I butted in. First of all, I'm better than fine. Secondly, I already have plans.
You see? She already has plans.
It pays $1,000.
My mouth dropped open. I can't. I have to work.
How much do you get paid?
None of your business. I opened the door to the chapel and spotted James Dean waving frantically at me. Frankie, are you okay?
No, we have some serious work to do.
What's wrong? I don't start for a few hours. Is there an early wedding booked?
No, we have to get you ready.
You're losing me, Frankie. I sighed. This was a normal occurrence. Like a child who had too much sugar and was running around with a lampshade on his head, Frankie was the same with schemes. I could never catch up with him or settle him down. Maybe a timeout? Frankie took a deep breath, but it didn't keep his mouth from racing.
Caleb called and asked if you could have tonight off for a photo shoot. It's supposed to be huge. He's sending over the dress the original model was going to wear, so I'm sure we'll have to do alterations.
He was forming a list and pacing feverishly.
We have to do something with your hair and makeup. I think we'll have to exfoliate too. You're looking dreadful from holing up in the casino all day. We're going to be super busy transforming you. He'll pick you up at 8, so we have to hustle. Go take a shower and come back here. And listen, Missy, you'd better wear some sexy undies. I don't want to transform you into a queen when you're wearing popper panties.
My mouth hung open.
Why aren't you moving?
Because I'm in shock and I'm not going. I'm not a dog. He can't just summon or tell me what to do.
Oh, nuh-uh. Don't get all feministic on me. Let me remind you, you are a professional poker player. Therefore, you need publicity just like Caleb. He can help you. By standing next to him, you'll become a name and not just a player. Plus, as of now, I'm your manager. You'll need to get with the program. My program.
That's ridiculous. I've never had a manager and I don't need one. Frankie sucked in a lungful of air and huffed it back out with a dramatic sigh. I'm happy the way things are, I said. I don't need to be in the public eye to play poker.
You're happy?
He flung his arms up in the air with frustration.
You're not happy. You have a mediocre stream of cash coming in from working the tables all day and night. Then you come home to a cat that has serious anger management issues. The highlight of your day is when you help me in the chapel. When was the last time you dressed up and felt like a sexy woman?
Gus is just lazy.
Really? That's what you took from the conversation?
Frankie twitched like a diva that had reached her credit card limit and still needed shoes.
You better run your tush upstairs and take a shower before I go Godzilla on your ass.
I turned and sulked to my apartment. I knew I was beat. Frankie is a great guy, but when an idea embeds into his brain, it's better for all involved to buckle up for the roller coaster ride. I showered and thought of all the ways I could kill Caleb. I imagined trying to strangle him, but my mind drifted to when he touched my leg. My skin erupted with full-body tingles. I guess killing Caleb would be out of the question. Too much physical contact. I quickly turned the shower knob to cold and hopped out when it reached freezing. I rummaged through my underwear drawer until I found my secret purchase. I'd bought a panty and bra set months ago, but never had the courage to remove the tags, let alone wear it. Not to mention, I work the tables all day and night in jeans and a t-shirt. It's not the most glamorous lifestyle. I held out a black lacy push-up bra and matching panties. I took a deep breath and wiggled into them. I threw on a robe and ran downstairs.
It's about time,
Frankie said when I peeked into the chapel.
There aren't any couples right now, so we need to move fast. I brought Danny in for help.
Danny worked at the chapel 5 nights a week, and I worked her nights off. She's in her early 20s and loves to chew and snap her bubble gum like she's in grade school. She wears her electric blue hair short, and all of her piercings are silver. Sorry, Danny, I called to the front foyer. I heard her greeting gum snap.
A pushy woman named Jessica dropped off the dress. It's gorgeous. I hope you've been working out. This dress won't look great on just anyone.
You're freaking me out, I said, eyeing the garment bag.
Don't worry, I'll have you looking fabulous. Danny,
He called to the front.
let the magic begin.
By the time they were finished, I had aches and pains all over my body. They pulled, poked, waxed, buffed, slathered, yanked, taped, painted, and invaded all personal space I like to keep guarded.
You need to keep this style maintained. You're going to be in the public eye more now that I'm your manager.
I rolled my eyes and caught my reflection in the mirror.
The dress really works for you.
Danny said, snapping her gum. The gown was black with silver streaks that grew wider at the bottom of the long, flowing skirt. A slit ran up the dress, stopping precariously high on the front of my thigh. The body of the dress was tightly fitted and had wide straps. The V-neck plunged deeper than I felt comfortable with. My push-up bra had been rendered useless by the low neckline. I slipped my feet into strappy silver heels. Caleb opened the door to the chapel. He was wearing a black suit cut in the latest style seen on Hollywood's red carpet. It fit his angles perfectly. The top button of his white dress shirt was undone. Between the quality fabric and the breathtaking cut, I was sure it was a designer label made especially for him. His hair, still tousled and windblown, radiated sexiness.
Oh my God, he's here.
Danny's eyes flashed at Frankie. The two of them raced toward Caleb. Frankie won by giving Danny a hip bump onto the foyer couch. Frankie came to a full halt in front of Caleb.
I'm your biggest fan.
Frankie gushed, giving Caleb a vigorous handshake.
Thank you. Is Nadia ready?
Yes, but watch out. She may look drop-dead gorgeous thanks to me, but she's as angry as a rattlesnake taunted by a wild dog.
Am I the wild dog in this scenario?
You're a bad, bad dog.
Frankie winked.
Don't worry. I'll contact Jessica to schedule more events. I'm Nadia's manager now.
I shook my head as I listened to Frankie.
Nadia, let's go.
Frankie called to me.
You don't want to be late.
I took a deep breath and walked out as gracefully as I could, considering I've never worn 4-inch heels. Caleb slowly took me in.
Oh shit.